no. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You've got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Pow day.
Dude, let's go.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing? Happy Friday. We made it. Yes, the end of another week here at BroncoNationNews.com. How we doing? My name's BJ Rains. Appreciate you guys for checking us out today as Blue Turf gets us going on the ICCU YouTube chat. Good morning, BNN. Well, good morning to you as well. It is an ICCU Friday here, so we appreciate ICCU. Branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile eBranch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check them out online, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. And as always, our title sponsor, Andy Rowe, RowPaint.com. And make sure you check out RowPaint.com for all of your painting needs. And before we get rolling here with Jay Tust, I do want to give a quick shout out to Lean Feast. They unfortunately announced yesterday they are closing down their location in Meridian, and tough to hear for Dave and everybody over there at Lean Feast. So we enjoyed our partnership with Lean Feast. I know they were giving the football team and the basketball team weekly meals, and unfortunately the meal prep service is just a really tough business to succeed in, and it can be very tough to hear. So the Facebook post came out yesterday. Today is their last day, so get over to Lean Feast if you can. Support them today on their last day, and they were a big supporter of BNN, have been eating their meals for a long time, and like I said, they were literally fueling the football team every week before games, and the basketball team came in on Monday and got 50 orders, 50 meals for this week for summer workouts and things. So shout out Dave. I talked to him on the phone yesterday, but appreciate Lean Feast, appreciate their support the last couple of years. And Dave and the whole crew over there will remain friends. And sorry to hear about Lean Feast closing, but I wanted to give them a quick shout out today because they were a great partner of ours for the last couple of years, and was very unfortunate and sad to hear that they unfortunately, just due to the times and what it costs for meal prep service and things to stay profitable, made the tough decision to close down. But today is the last day, so head over to Lean Feast if you can, and we appreciate our friend Dave and everybody over at Lean Feast. We bring in our man Jay Tust, sports director over at KTVB. And Jay, you were on the call for the NNU game yesterday, 14-0. They are one win away from moving back to the Division II College World Series. I guess they'll try to do that tonight. But Cal State, Monterey Bay, big time call yesterday. Congratulations on that, and you'll be back at it today.
Yeah, they're 1 win away, man, from a really big victory. I mean, a really big moment in program history, you could say, because they've only been once before, BJ. But even talking with their head coach Joe Schaefer, he still views that one in 2021 with a little bit of an asterisk next to it, just because they were coming out of COVID. Some teams in California weren't playing that year. There were no super regionals that year because less teams were playing. But this year, they are truly walking the path to get to the College World Series. And if they can win tonight at 6:00, then they will officially punch their ticket to Cary, North Carolina.
Now, I went to the NNU baseball's Twitter account, and a lot of these teams sometimes will post, clips and things for highlights from the games. I was trying to find just some Jay Tust call that I could find to even potentially get on the show. And where can I go back and either rewatch it, or where can I find the call? Where can folks find the call tonight? And why is NNU not posting any clips? Because was there a home run or something? I mean, what's the home run call for Jay Tust?
There are 3 of them yesterday. Yeah.
But I mean, is there a see ya? Or is
you gotta watch tonight to figure it out. BJ, 6:00, first pitch. It's gonna stream on NNUsports.com, and it'll also be streaming on KTVB Plus. So you'll have to check it out. But it really could be a historic victory. They play good baseball, man. They're a fun team to watch. They're one of those teams that the game's constantly in motion. If they put a guy on base, they're sack bunting, they're hitting behind the runner, hit and run, stealing bases, and then they got the enough power to leave the yard whenever they want as well. Again, 3 bombs yesterday, so it's actually they're a pretty fun team to watch, man. I would really suggest watching them tonight. Go out to the game. I think they basically sold out last night. They had to bring in extra stands to accommodate all the extra fans. But this might be your final chance to catch them. So get the boys out to the yard, man. Go watch some NNU baseball tonight. Come on now.
Memorial Day baseball tournaments are starting today, but yes, get out there, check out our friends at NNU. Good luck to them this weekend. I've actually been really enjoying. Speaking of fun team to watch, Jay, my alma mater. It's been a fun year for the Kansas Jayhawks baseball team. They are in the semifinals of the Big 12 tournament tonight, and they've actually been having a fun year and are ranked in the top 25. So it's been weird to see Kansas baseball having success, and so I've been following them. But yes, I will do my best to be following NNU. I just want to hear the Jay Tust home run call. That's all I want to hear is the Jay Tust home run call, and I'm hoping to hear it tonight a couple of times for NNU. Good luck to them. And we'll have plenty of baseball. I think we're down for 5 or 6 games at least for Naismith's team this weekend, and we'll see what else happens, the Memorial Day tournaments. But, Jay, we are continuing our top 25 list, the 25 most important players to the Boise State football team in 2025. Yesterday at number 11, we had Malik Sherrod, the running back. We're going to get to Sire Gaines later in the list, but before we get to today's, I just wanted to let you hit on number 11 because I know you were as impressed as all of us were with what we've seen from Malik Sherrod so far. Yeah,
I thought Malik Sherrod was awesome during spring ball. Super explosive player. He's got some experience, and I can't wait to see what he can do in this offense. I think that Ashton Genty had so many individual touches last year. They're going to spread the wealth this year, but he's certainly a guy that's going to help carry the load and be a playmaker. And another guy that I think that, Ashton Genty wasn't used a ton last year in the passing game. He was used a ton, not a ton though in the passing game, where 43 catches the year prior, and that number took a dip his junior year. But I think that's where you're going to see Malik Sherrod also make an impact on this team, the short passing game and things like that.
We both took just playing the percentages. If he stays healthy, we both took Sire Gaines to lead the team in rushing yesterday, he and Johnny. But
absolutely,
I think there's a more even debate or argument on either side for Malik Sherrod versus Breezy Dubar, maybe for number 2.
If I was guessing right now, I'd go with Sherrod.
Okay, yeah.
I really believe that Sire Gaines is going to be your workhorse, physical, between the tackles, running back next year. And then I think that Malik Sherrod is that next guy that changes the pace a little bit. And Another luxury they have with some depth at running back. You feel like next year is you might see multiple guys on the field at the same time. You can't really bank on that going into a season because it was 2 years ago with George Halani and Ashton Genty that we saw that idea all fall apart in the first game of the season at the University of Washington. So you can't bank on that too much there, but it does appear like they do have some depth in that running back room right now, to where you might be able to see that because we haven't mentioned him too, but Dylan Riley is also going to be an impact. I strongly believe in that group.
Yep, no doubt. And again, Cyrus Gaines will be coming up. We'll talk more about him next week.
Yeah. Oh, and then real quick too, but just Malik on special teams. I'm sure you brought that up, but his ability as a returner on kickoff and things like that. I think that he'll provide a little bit of punch and a little bit of juice back there, and they have to force the issue in some of those return games because they just haven't been consistently explosive enough, I believe, creating that competitive advantage in that area.
And there were fans yesterday on the chat here, Jay, praising Malik Sherrod for the end of the Andy Avalos era at Boise State.
It's wild, man.
95 yards on the return, and then that was the famous game with Eric McAllister, and then he left right after that. And then I think there was only one more home game against New Mexico, but it was that week before that game where they made the decision. I know they were kind of joking, but they said, oh, Malik Sherrod should be loved inside that locker room.
Mm-hmm. It's not a far-fetched thing to say that really was what kind of put the nail in the coffin, if you will. That was a really tough week at Fresno State, and not only did they lose in kind of unfortunate fashion, but I just think that you could really evaluate the spirit of your players and program and things like that. And it wasn't even just the loss, but just like everything going on. I think that was kind of the final straw, if you will. And yes, right before halftime, it looked like the Broncos are going to come back and win that game probably. And then Malik Sherrod takes one to the house. So I mean, truly, like, you could probably say that was the turning point in the trajectory of Spencer Danielson's career and a program that ultimately went to the college football playoff this past season.
Yeah. Well, I think Malik Sherrod is going to have a bigger impact than any of us thought when we first heard about it. As I said with Johnny, why would he want to come here was my first thought. And then you think, okay, he'll be the impact special teams guy. And then, but with Sire being out of me, I think he's now proven that he's going to have to get, 10 carries a game or however they break it out. I mean, he's going to have to get some action in the backfield at some point here with how he's, with how he's playing. So excited about Malik Sherrod. He's number 11 on our list, and you can go check that out at BroncoNationNews.com. All right, we're inside the top 10 of our 10 most important players on the Boise State football team. I guess we're at 10. We're not necessarily inside number 10. We'll get to our number 10 player here in just a moment. But I want to thank RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. Andy Rowe, RowPaint.com, all your painting needs. Make sure you hit up Andy Rowe, whether it's concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting. Hit them up at RowPaint.com. Hey, Taco Bell, they're hiring. Just go into a local Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. TacoBellWorks.com is their website. You can get more information on the Nicolason family, the SON Management Group, and a great company that's been around decades here in the Treasure Valley and beyond. And they're big supporters of ours. We appreciate them. Taco Bell, get those cheesy gordita crunches, the Cantina bowls, the Lux Cravings boxes, the good old cheesy roll-ups are what my kids like. They have all these great options, and they just want, the tortilla and cheese. Those are kids for you, I guess. But Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Hey, it is a ICCU Friday here, as I said, at Bronco Nation News. Branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile eBranch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check it out. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. And Jay, if you and the family are heading to Roaring Springs at some point this summer, they open up, I believe, daily starting today or tomorrow. You can save up to $32 on 4 tickets when you buy your Coca-Cola products at Jackson's. Go to Jackson's, buy 2 Coca-Cola products, get $8 off a ticket to Roaring Springs. You can do that 4 times. That's savings up to $32 from our friends at Jackson's at Roaring Springs. Make sure you hit up a Extra Mile or Jackson's location for that great deal today. All right, Jay, we've already had 2 wide receivers on our list. Chris Marshall came in at number 24. We also had Cam Bates on our list as well at number 16. We actually originally had Austin Bolt on our list as well, but he got bumped out late in the process. But I still think he's obviously a key piece here. But 3 receivers already on our list. And now we come to The highest wide receiver on our list right now, Latrell Caples at number 10 here on the 10 most important players in the Boise State football team in 2025. And obviously been a interesting career for him, battling some injuries, been around a while. Last year had that I don't know if breakout season's the right word, but certainly emerged as, one of the main receivers on the team with 38 catches, 473 yards, 5 touchdowns, which from a receiver perspective was the most receiving touchdowns. Matt Lauder had 7, but in terms of the wide receiver position, the 5 touchdowns for Latrell Caples were the most. I got some other numbers, some other thoughts here, but just big picture generally, when I say Latrell Caples, most important wide receiver on the team heading into the season, and number 10 on the overall list. Just what are your thoughts?
I think that Latrell's not only we're talking about production here clearly, but he's a really important part of this program. Latrell has really kind of stepped into a leadership role, and I think he's really kind of embraced that role. And his season, I mean, really his breakout season, BJ, you probably go back to 2022, when he had 549 yards. At that point in time, it led the team, 51 catches. And the thing that he really provided then was yards after the catch. Almost half his yards were after the catch that season, 260 yards after the catch. And that's just an area with Ashton Genty no longer rocking the blue and orange that Boise State has to find a way to still be explosive on offense and generate, whether it be after contact or after the catch, generate yards in that capacity. And, as Latrell was coming back off an injury last year, he had, well over 400 yards, but only 80 or so after the catch, right? And so they need him to kind of continue to get back to those ways and be that dynamic playmaker, not only getting the ball to him, but then what he does after he catches the ball as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, again, the most proven wide receiver to this point on the roster, Jay, in terms of kind of what you're going to, there may be guys like a Chris Marshall or somebody that or a Cam Bates that have a quote unquote higher ceiling, maybe if they just go crazy and maybe have, whatever. But in terms of safe, if he's healthy, what you're going to get, proven receiver, Latrell Caples is there. But, I just wonder, like, how much higher is that ceiling? Where can he get to? He's a guy, as we said, that last year had 38 catches coming off the injury. But, can he get you to 60 catches? Can he be? I just wonder where. We saw 58 catches for Cam Camper. Cam Camper had 58 catches for 903 yards. I know a lot of Cam Campers were the longer, catches at times, like you said, going deep. But can Latrell Caples go from 38 to 58 in terms of the catches? Can he make that jump? And kind of the question I had on the YouTube headline here was, can Latrell Caples become a true wide receiver 1 for Boise State football? And I know there's technically 3 number 1s, whatever, but in terms of just the top number 1 star go-to wide receiver, can Latrell Caples in your mind be that guy this year?
They certainly need him to be, BJ. And, Latrell last year had 5 catches of 20 or more yards, which was, less than half of what Cam Camper had. Cam had 13 catches of 20 or more yards. And Matt Lauder is also another guy that they're really going to lean on to generate those explosive plays because, he is, definitely the pass catching side of things, the most gifted tight end that Boise State's probably ever had, And so he's going to be a big factor in the passing game, helping fill those shoes and production of Cam Camper for sure. But when it comes to wide receivers, yeah, I see no reason why Latrell can't jump back into that 50 to 60 catch range. He did it a couple years ago, when Boise State's working on through a rotating quarterback situation and don't even really know what offense they're running. Fired their offensive coordinator mid-season. Yeah, I think with some consistency coming back, if the big if for Latrell is, can he stay healthy? And unfortunately, that's nothing he can really control. Can do the best that he can, but if he can stay healthy, I see no reason why Latrell Caples can't be a 50 to 60 catch guy.
He did have 58 targets on the season last year, which of the guys coming back was more 53 for Bolt and Penry combined, I believe. most people know this, but a quick just look back. I mean, 2020, 3-star recruit, obviously out of Lancaster, Texas, had some other offers, some pretty good ones. I believe, according to Nathan Carroll's article here, Missouri, Colorado, like had some pretty good offers that he could have gone to. Jay comes to Boise State. As you said, redshirted, didn't play much in 2021. Had that 51 catch season in 2022 where Mike Prater still owes me a milkshake for that one. We had a Billy Bowens versus Latrell Caples bet, and I won that one pretty easily with Caples. I believe that was that year. 2022.
No, Prater had Caples.
No. Nice try. We all know better than that. We all know better. I'm not losing a bet like that to Mike Prater.
Prater, no. I tried, buddy. I tried.
But as you said, 51 catches, 549 yards. He was set to just be a absolute rock star, and then had that injury, as he said, missing all of 2023 with the torn Achilles injury, and came back 38 for 473, and now that redshirt senior, he's back, and as you said, the biggest thing is health. And I know last year, I believe, I don't remember the injury, but he missed the Washington State game, I believe, after having some sort of injury against Portland State, earlier in the season. Only had 5 targets in the 3 games after that, Jay, when he did come back. So he was obviously dealing with something last season, and I forget what it is. I apologize. But after that, he got 5.3 targets per game. The second half of the season, he became a much more bigger piece of the offense at that point. 9 games on either side of the injury, 35 catches on 52 yards for 447 yards and 5 touchdowns. And as Nathan says, that would project out to like 700 yards receiving if he had, been healthy and played the full season there. Can a healthy Latrell Caples push for 1,000-yard season, Jay?
Oh,
You mentioned the longer, the 20-plus yard catches. I mean, if you're going to get to 1,000 yards, I guess you could have 100 catches of 10 yards each. But, I mean, you're going to need some of those game-changing plays.
Yeah. I just think that's a tough mark for anybody to get to. I mean, look at it this way, BJ. Latrell, we're sitting 12-ish yards per catch or something like that, I believe, for his career. I'll try to look it up really quick, but if you're in that ballpark, then you would have to have over 83 catches to get to 1,000 yards if you're averaging 12 yards a catch or something like that, So that's probably asking a lot, I just don't know if that has to be the expectation to the standard, though. Like, could he do it? Yeah, if you pepper him with 125 targets, sure. I mean, a lot of guys can, but I don't know if that's what you need Latrell Caples to be for your team. Like, just be consistent, get on the field. Like, give me 60 catches for 750 next year, and I think that's a massive success, not only for Latrell Caples, but for this Boise State offense. And to see where his roles kind of evolved a little bit over the last couple of years, you go back to that sophomore season where he had 500, was it 69 or 549 receiving yards on 51 catches. His average depth of target that year was about 8 yards, and last year that ballooned to about 12.5 yards on his average depth of target. So that shows you they're kind of using him a little bit differently in terms of when and how they're throwing him the football. And that also might factor into why he had a few less yards after catch last year than he did back 2 years ago. But another guy that, give him a chance too, because coming off of missing that entire season in 2023, and he's getting back into it in 2024, and 2025 is a chance for him to make a statement.
Now, Blake's asking if Latrell's the last Harsin guy. I think there's still a couple Harsin. I think wasn't Austin Bolt a Harsin guy? Maybe not.
Austin Bolt might have been a Chris Peterson guy.
Now Mason Touche. Yes, that's a good one. Mason Randolph, I know, was signed. There was a lot of guys that were signed. I know, like Brad Bedell signed Mason Randolph like 2 weeks before they left for Auburn. So there are a lot of guys that I believe signed, but I don't know if you're talking just guys they signed or guys they coached. I don't know where Blake's going there, but I think there's actually still a lot of these 5th and 6th year senior guys would have had Harsin, right?
Yeah. But I mean, he's correct on his point that it's starting to dwindle out here. But yes, that is there's still a few left. There's something to weed through the roster and figure out, I guess.
And we're going to get to Matt Lauder later in this series as well next week, Jay. But Bronco 130 says Lauder's production is going to inhibit Caples' production. I mean, certainly Matt Lauder is going to be in line for a massive season. We talked about it. Mike Prater believes he'll lead the team in catches this year. I mean, he had 47 last year. So, yes, that is the case. But, I mean, there's going to be more than one wide receiver that you're going to have to throw the ball to this year. One target, tight end target, however you want to phrase it.
Yeah, but I also I'm right there. I firmly believe Matt Lauder, not only will he should lead the team in catches this year. For a tight end, like, it's so funny for a tight end. Most of the time, you're used to just kind of dumping the ball down and getting an 8-yard gain where he kind of falls forward or something like that. But Matt is as explosive as any tight end I have ever seen at Boise State. He can go get it after the catch and things like that. So I have no problem with Matt Lauder leading this team in catches next year.
Well, yeah, and whether it takes away, whether that's the reason Latrell Caples won't have a 1,000-yard season, I don't know. But
I don't know about that either. The point of that, I believe, is just that in years past, you'll be used to, a decent season for a Boise State tight end would probably be, I should have looked this up, but you're probably looking at 40 targets, 25 to 30 catches, and that would have been a pretty good receiving year for whoever was tight end one at Boise State. Matt Lauder is just different. He's a guy that should be peppered with 80 targets this next season, in my opinion. He should get as many looks as anybody, and I think that will be the case. I mean, his position coach is now the offensive coordinator, BJ.
Yep.
Matt Lauder is going to get his this season.
Yep, we'll get to Matt Lauder next week in the series. But back to Latrell Caples, Jay. Early in his career, as Nathan points out, a lot of Latrell Caples' action came in the slot. And you look at last year, according to the Pro Football Focus numbers in Nathan's article, 36% of his snaps were on the outside last year, which would and now is Cam Bates kind of being a playmaking guy potentially in the slot too. How do you think potentially Caples maybe playing more on the outside affects all this?
Well, I mean, to Nate's point, I talked about average depth of target. Now, when you're in the slot, typically it's a little lower. When you bump outside, that average depth of target is going to increase as you move away from the football. And so I think you saw that. Yeah, I think that you're going to see him more at like a Z or X receiver position, probably Z, but I don't exactly know quite yet, but I think you will move him around a little bit more and try to utilize the talents of the young Cam Bates as well, who seems like he is ready to break out himself and be a huge impact on this offense. He had his little moments last year, but his role will no doubt significantly increase on the 2025 Boise State football team, which could bump Latrell back outside a little bit more this year.
So putting this all together, Latrell Caples, his impact. I know the wide receiver position is one we've talked about a lot. Then they added the JUCO guy, which doesn't have a lot of people excited, and fair, rightfully so, probably given the fact that he hasn't done much. But as we said, you trust the coaches on this one. You're not expecting him to come in and be wide receiver one. He's maybe going to be 4 or 5, or with all the years he has left, maybe he does nothing this year. He's a project, and in a couple of years, he's a contributor. I don't know. They still might add one more wide receiver, as we talked about, Jay, but just Latrell Caples staying healthy, having a productive season. We put this all together on Caples. Obviously, he is a very important piece of what they're trying to do offensively.
Very important piece. Yeah. I think that Latrell Caples will also bring out the best in the rest of the wide receiver group. He will hold them to a standard. He's ready to lead, and his role on this team goes beyond production. That's not the only way to measure Latrell Caples' value to the 2025 Boise State football team. He will be pushing them in the summer, off-season workouts, PRPs, player run practices, and that's a group that has to rise to the occasion over these next couple of months and be ready to go going into fall camp, because Latrell was limited at times during spring ball, but let's face it, that's just because he's been in college for a long time, and I don't think you need to even risk or worry about live situations with a player like him until you get into fall camp. Austin Bolt kind of going through another bit of a recovery process, if you will, and Chris Marshall needing to step up and be a guy in this offense, and Cam Bates trying to, quickly rise the ranks and be a contributor for this offense. So,
And
they have some options, but this is a group that really needs to prove it over the summer that they're ready to roll going into the season.
And I'm not ready to give up yet on Austin Bolt. I know some people kind of
No,
I'm not saying he's going to be a 60, 70 catch, wide receiver one. I think that's probably foolish at this point to just assume or predict based on, unfortunately, how he's been used in the injury past and whatever else. But I think he can still. I know some people are kind of like, hey, I'm done projecting him until he proves it. I understand that. I'm not saying those people are wrong, but I still think there's a lot of potential with Austin Bolt.
I do too, but I think that, like anything, there just needs to be reasonable expectations placed on this guy going into the season. If your expectations are 50 catches, then I just think that everybody's going to be set up for disappointment. And it's not the fact that Austin can't get there, because he certainly is a tough player that's capable of doing that. I just think that it's not a realistic expectation. If that should not be your standard of what to expect out of him. I just lower the bar just a little bit and see what he can really do. I mean, the guy can run, right? He can high point a ball. He can take the top off of a defense. We saw him really at moments, kind of in that 2023 championship run late in the season against UNLV, had the big touchdown. And so I'm not so much worried about volume with Austin. I don't know if he's a guy that you really need, on the field 99% of the offensive snaps or whatever it is, but how can you really kind of put him in a position to just get the best out of him, right? Is that playing 50% of the snaps, 100% of the snaps? Is it really 10 targets a game or 4 targets a game, where how do you get the best out of him?
Mm-hmm.
And given his health injury and things like that, just putting him in a position to succeed. Because as we know, Austin's a guy that he's so tough, he's so competitive, he's so determined that, you hear this with coaches say this all the time. We heard Spencer Danielson say it with Sire Gaines. He'll just go 1,000% in practice. And so if you put him out there, you have to expect that. So sometimes it's the coach that has to hold a player back.
Sure.
How can they come up with that game plan that's perfect for Austin Bolt this coming season?
The Quintana Show says if Chris Marshall plays up to his potential, this entire convo is moot. However, that's a damn big if.
I would kind of agree with that. He's tremendously talented football player, but he's got to put it together. And I think that we've seen with his coaching staff, they're not just going to hand out playing time.
Yeah.
You have to go earn it, and that goes beyond just what you do in practice. But everything counts, everything matters, as Jeremiah Dickey says, and I think that applies to playing time if you're a Boise State football player. And Chris Marshall has the ability, but he's got to put it all together.
Well, Latrell Caples fits massively into this picture at wide receiver. We'll see exactly how it shakes out, who they add, if it's another impact guy, whatever, who's healthy, who's not healthy. But Boise State badly needs Latrell Caples to. I mean, if Latrell Caples doesn't have 40-plus catches this year, you kind of wonder what the wide receiver group looks like or what the record is. I mean, he needs to do at least what he did last year. If he doesn't, or if he gets hurt or whatever reason, Jay, that would not be one of those things that you're, I don't really want to know what the situation is with the offense if that's the case. I mean,
I
whether
think
he's team in catches, whatever, like for this offense to really succeed, they need Latrell Caples healthy and productive this year.
I'm okay with saying that. Yeah, I think that not to put pressure on the kid, but I think that he needs to be in that range for sure, at least, because if he's not, like, where does that go? It would be a surprise in my book.
All right, Jay, there was a NCAA or a college football playoff ruling that came down yesterday. It kind of broke right during our show that it might happen. I want to get your take on that and get, thoughts on Jeremiah Dickey's, kind of public comments as well here just a second. But first, Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. If you're looking for a spa, a sauna, a pool table, they got you covered. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Check them out online at the Spa Team. The Blue and Orange Store. I saw they were giving away an Ashton Genty jersey yesterday on Prater and Johnny's show. Why am I surprised that the first person I saw wearing an Ashton Genty jersey on the Raiders is Johnny Ballgame? But Boise State basketball gear, football gear, they got you covered. That clearance rack in the front of the store is the best value in town. You can order online anywhere in the world at the Blue and Orange Store.com. Hey, do what the Raines family did and purchase a used vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise. And the benefits of a new car without the new car price. That's what a pre-owned Pride vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise gets you. Their certified pre-owned vehicles give you more for your money with warranties, inspections, 24/7 roadside assistance, and their large inventory means there are plenty of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs for every budget. Check out the lot, Fairview and Maple Grove, or visit LithiaFordBoise.com. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley yet again. When you buy or sell a home with Matt, you get to meet everybody in the picture. Their customer service is unmatched, and we appreciate Matt. He's part of the Boise State home team now, stepping up his financial commitment as well. He's been big on the NIL game, so when you're looking to buy or sell a home, I know everybody has, plenty of friends that are realtors in this town, but you need to go with the best, and that's Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. 13 locations around the state of Idaho. ShopRidleys.com. Check them out, ShopRidleys.com, Ridley's Family Markets, and we appreciate them for their support. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Transportation Compliance Service, TransCompService.com. Transportation Compliance Service. They can help you get into the trucking industry every step of the way, whether it's overweight, DOT, all the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. They're a local company helping out folks all over the world. You can do it at Transportation Compliance Service. And SpeakPipe.com/BNN is where you can leave us a voicemail. You agree, you disagree, you got something you want to get off your chest, you can do it and leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox line, SpeakPipe.com/BNN. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on an upcoming show. It's brought to you by Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 2 decades, online at mysignatureroofing.com. Jay, we are exactly 1 week from right now where you will literally be asking for the keys to the Lithia vehicle on hole 6 after you hit the 175-yard shot into the hole for a hole-in-one, and you win the free vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise. Are you making plans now to have Camille come pick up the other vehicle?
I guess so. I should. If it would ever happen, it would happen now, because I haven't been on a driving range. I played a little bit of golf like 3 months ago in Arizona, so it would make sense that, as opposed to just pouring in a ton of time, that when I just step on the tee box and try to knock one towards the green, maybe it rolls in. It's probably gonna skip off a rock off of a tree and then somehow hit the lip of the bunker and then just kind of curl into the hole. But I'll take it.
175-yard. I mean, that's probably a sand wedge for you, or
I don't know what club's getting there on Friday. Hopefully something in my bag does.
Well, it's going to be a good time. I got you with a good group, and we're going to have a good time. A week from
I've been assigned?
Huh?
I've been assigned?
Details to come on that. Actually, we're hey, I was only half kidding. We may throw Jay Tust in the who wants to put $1 in the pot, 9 holes with Jay Tust. We may be able to make that happen here if one of these groups wants to play with you for 9 holes and raise a little money for the little extra money for charity. But we're finalizing those details. But I do want to throw one more plug in. Next Thursday, that's a week from last night, is our happy hour event over at Western Collective. I was there, Jay, I guess it was Wednesday, kind of doing a final look at it and talking to the GM there, and it's going to be a tremendous spot. The weather is like mid-80s and sunny on Thursday evening. It's going to be down in the 70s, perfect weather, 6 o'clock. It's going to be awesome. You get your beer from your Horseshoe Golden Ale. You get your pizza from Uncle Bob's Pizza taken care of. If you prefer a mixed drink or something, they have a full bar. That'll be a cash bar, but free beer, free pizza. You'll have Coach Rice, Coach Danielson, Dirk Cutter, Johnny, Prater, Jay. The whole crew is going to be out there. And so it's our happy hour event to raise money for the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. And they're a charity, Jay, as you know, that helps kind of underprivileged youth in this town be able to play youth sports, whether it's paying for their baseball glove or their entry fee into the league or paying for them to go to a clinic or a camp. Helping with coaches clinics as well. So they do a tremendous job. And I know some of our money last year, we did an event with the Potato Bowl where they bought shoes for kids, and the teams in the Potato Bowl helped fit them. And so we've raised nearly $25,000 in 3 years of this event. We're trying to raise even more this year. So if you're not golfing, it's sold out already. You want to come hang out, support the cause, $35. Email me, rains@bronconationnews.com, rains@bronconationnews.com, $35. And again, that includes beer and pizza, and you get to mingle, hang out, happy hour with all the coaches and players. And Matt Lauder, speaking of Matt Lauder, Cage Casey, Roger Carrion, and Latrell Caples. Speaking of Latrell Caples, the NIL guys from Lithia Ford will be out there as well, hanging out. We'll get them up on stage a little bit, but looking forward to that. And I know, Jay, you're going to be we're still finalizing the format, but you're going to be a part of the Q&A in some format. So we appreciate you for volunteering to do that. And I know it's going to be a fun event next week.
Yeah, I look forward to it, bud. This is the golf event is always the highlight to kick off summer, in my opinion.
Just stay away from the gym next week, please.
Yes. Yeah. I will do my best.
So that'll be Thursday next week. If everybody remembers, last year Jay had the bicep injury like literally the day before the event and couldn't come. So.
Yeah, happy that we're over that. Hopefully,
we're happy to have you back. Hopefully this year. So join us Thursday and Friday next week. Going to be a fun week. Again, email me rains@bronconationnews.com. All right, we got about 5 minutes left, Jay. And yesterday it came out officially that they are getting rid of the buys for the first round for the conference champions. They'll just straight seed it 1 through 12, and the first 4 teams, 1 through 4, get the bye in the first round. And I got to be honest, I said it yesterday with Johnny. I don't really have a huge problem with that part of it. I know a lot of Boise State fans, the Boise State rule. I know Jeremiah Dickey is really, not been shy on social media about sharing his comments on this. I don't have a huge problem with this part of it, but the one caveat that I said yesterday, Jay, that I think needs to happen is if you are one of the highest 4 ranked conference champions, you should at least be assured of getting a home game then in the next round. So if maybe you don't get the bye, but if you're seed 9 or 10, but you're one of the 4 highest ranked conference champions, you should still get to host 8 or 9 or however it works out in that situation. I know the format they're talking about is like 2 play-in games essentially, maybe where like 13 would host 16 and, I guess 14 would host 15 or however it would work out. So maybe you get a home game in the quote first round play-in, whatever they call it that way. But I'm fine with it, especially how they did it this year where you still get the money. If you're one of the 4 highest paid champions, you still get the money for the bye, even though you don't get the bye. So you're not losing any money financially out of this. But I think, you know what, if you're ranked number 2 in the country, just because you're in the second best team in your own conference, I'm not sure in this day and age of college football that should keep you from getting a bye in the first round. So I don't have a problem with it, but what do you make of at least giving the 4 highest ranked conference champions or some incentive to winning your conference with potentially a home game?
I think they should call it the Boise State rule. I'm right there with Jeremiah Dickey because why are they changing the rules? Because of Boise State. It's hard to argue that. It is. It's also kind of funny that, again, in the grand scheme of things, I don't have a problem with the rule change. I don't.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is it's kind of funny that look at the other teams that got a bye. Oregon got a bye. What happened to them? Ohio State killed them, right? Like, there are other teams that got byes. Like, I don't know. If any, I'll say this: it actually probably betters Boise State chances of hosting a college football playoff game. I like your idea of guaranteeing that maybe depending on where they are, but it actually probably betters their chances if you take away the bye. They would have been really, really close to hosting a college football playoff game last year under this current format.
And as I said to Johnny yesterday, like, let's be honest, how many times in a 10-year span is what happened last year going to happen? Maybe once or twice.
I don't think they thought it was going to happen. That's why the rules were set up or designed that way. I think, and the funny thing is it happened year 1.
I sorry to cut you off, Jay, but I do think it's funny, as you said, with one, they couldn't even wait one more year till the new system starts. They had to change it right away.
Yeah. I think the reason why they changed the rules so quickly, though, is because it happened to year 1. If this was the 10th year of that college playoff format and the group of 5 team finally gets a bye, maybe there are some unhappy people, but I don't think they change rules because of it. But because it happened year 1, they blew it up immediately.
And I have been one that is advocating for the 16 teams. If you're going to expand it anyway, just keep expanding it. I'm fine with 16. It's interesting how they're looking to do it though, with the to make sure that the 4 teams still get buys. is that you're basically to get back to 12 is they're going to have 4 extra teams play-in games, and those winners slide into, you have 13 play 16, I think I saw was one, and then 14 play 15. And the thing that I'm not a fan of, Jay, is the SEC and the Big Ten getting 4 automatic spots. That is ridiculous. If you go to 16, more times than not, they're going to get 3 or 4 teams in anyway. But to guarantee half the field to these 2 conferences, to me, that is where I have a huge issue with this. And I heard some of the ACC coaches at their spring meetings, Mario Cristobal at Miami, coming out against that. Like, what are we doing here? I don't like any of that. I don't think they should even get multiple bids. Give them your conference champion, your 1 automatic spot, and then let it play out. And let's be honest, with all the politics and money involved, like, it's not like the committee is going to make sure the SEC and the Big Ten get plenty of teams in there every year, no matter what. They're going to be highly ranked no matter what. To just guarantee 4 teams from those 2 conferences, that I really, really hope that doesn't happen. And it's interesting because Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, yesterday, Jay, when they asked him about this, he goes, well, this move to switch to the seeding doesn't necessarily benefit the Big 12, but it's what's right for college football. And he goes, and I hope with the future decisions we make here, people are going to keep that in mind, and we're going to do what's best for college football, not necessarily one conference or the other. And I think that's what he was referring to, where he's like, hey, we'll concede on this. We'll go ahead and give you guys your extra bye in this first round, but I'm not sure we're going to go all the way to, 4 teams from your conference getting an automatic spot.
Yeah, it just the beauty of college football is like you want to see the underdog have a role, like you do. And obviously if you're one of the bigger schools, you don't, because that means that you're even if you have that opportunity, you could lose it. And I don't know. I don't know. I would rather live in a world of college football where we still see the little guy have a chance, in my opinion. But I don't love the idea of so many SEC teams getting in. But honestly, it's also probably because I don't cover the SEC to some degree, and I'm willing to admit that too. But yeah, I would love to see the group of 5 continue to get access and at least have a shot. And right now they do. So I think it's important to note, BJ, like, while it just became much more difficult to Boise State ever earn a bye, I don't know who was like clamoring for that in the group of 5 to begin with. They just wanted a shot. And right now, that at the end of the day, the access to the college football playoff for Boise State remains unchanged. They still are the premier group of 5 program. And if they do what they need to do, they will get into the college football playoff, in my opinion.
And as Kendrick said, Yormark had no choice but to concede. He could have. Everybody had to agree to this. He could have actually said
it was unanimous. It had to be unanimous.
But then they could have screwed the Big 12 even more in the next round. So I kind of get what he's saying. But as Sky says, the final comment today, Jay, beat Notre Dame at South Bend, and you won't have to worry about the ranking system.
True that, man. True that.
What is the coverage details tonight, Jay? Where can folks go to watch the NNU game and hear Jay Tust on the call?
Yeah, we are back on KTVB Plus. It's streaming at NNUsports.com. First pitch is right around 6 o'clock. BJ, this level has some more relaxed broadcast rules, I would say. They're not so hard-pressed on first pitches at 6:07 or wherever it might be. It's just kind of like everybody gets there and they say a prayer and sing the national anthem, and a few minutes after that, it's time to play ball.
The umpire's not turning around to you and going, "Are we live?" No. Good.
No. I think the biggest change for me is, man, when it started to be a blowout yesterday, Cal State Monterey Bay started to really substitute some guys throughout the outfield. Now I've got a producer in my head telling me who's going where and what's going on, and you're trying to wait for a guy to turn around and track down a fly ball so you could see his number. It's a blast, man. I had an awesome time. Max Holtzclaw, former NNU closers, on the call with me, and so 6 o'clock tonight should be a lot of fun.
You never told us what is the home run call?
Man, I don't really have one I lean on. Just
a track wall. Goodbye.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on. Sometimes there's a moonshot. Sometimes there's one that sneaks over the wall. We saw it all yesterday. So all 3 home runs went out to left field. 2 of them by lefties, though.
Okay.
This team's got some serious oppo pop out of the left-handed batter's box.
Are you Jim Nance style kind of scripting this? If NNU goes to the College World Series, do you have like a No,
but now that you said that, I guess I need to take a page out of your boy Nance's playbook and figure that out.
The slipper still fits. I don't know. You got to have something. I don't know, something for NNU. Yeah. Come on, Jay. Come on.
I'll figure it out.
This will be on their highlight reel forever. This will be on the NNU. Like this is a. Are they favored?
Okay, now you're making me nervous, dude. Because you're right. So easy.
Should they win again tonight? I don't know anything about.
Yeah. Okay. Check this out. So Ernesto Lugo Cancholo, their number one pitcher, he threw yesterday. He's 12-0 on the season. Tonight they go with their number 2 pitcher, Cole Calnon, who is 10-0 on the season. Wow. And even more importantly with him, they have not lost a game he started this season. Well, so even in his no decisions, they have still gone on to win. I think between the two of them, they're like the team is 25 or 26-2 when Ernesto or Cole are starting. So I like their chances again tonight to get this done and not have to worry about playing an if necessary game on Saturday.
There you go. Well, that's 6 o'clock KTVB Plus tonight. Jay Tust, he can do the Mayor's Cup basketball. He can do high school state, and he can do NNU baseball in the Division II Super Regionals. That's pretty cool, Jay. So good luck tonight on the call.
Thanks, bud.
After that's over, enjoy a cold one and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Hope everybody has a great Memorial Day, a holiday. No show for us on Monday with the holiday. We'll be back on Tuesday, Jay. We'll have 2 guys to catch up on. I believe Sire Gaines is actually one of the guys we'll get to on Tuesday, and hope we'll do that Tuesday. So hope everybody has a great weekend, and congrats to all the kids finishing school. Parents that work from home or parents that don't have to deal with kids home all summer, I'm right.
Good luck.
I'm right there with you as well. Whatever the opposite of congratulations is, but just always transition from spring to summer and school being out. One of those fun days of the year. So congrats to everybody, and it's going to be a hectic next few months for all of us. So appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great weekend, as I said, and we'll be back Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. You can go read Nathan Carroll right now at BroncoNationNews.com on all these other players, and you can still email me, Rains@BroncoNationNews.com. We'd love to have you. As we leave you today, I will play our clip from last year's happy hour if you missed it and you kind of know what you're in for. And again, this will be twice the crowd. It's outside Western Collective Brewery, the beer garden. Going to be a ton of fun. Pizza and beer included. Email me, $35, Rains@BroncoNationNews.com. Let's raise some money for a good cause and pack the place. We'll see you guys Tuesday. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RowPaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.